computer clock. And so Renee, Renee is going to be talking, as I said then, about attracting members, and she looks like she's ready to rock and roll. So Renee, take it away.
I am ready to rock and roll. I'm glad we had a little break so I didn't have to make anybody stand up this time. So great to see so great to see all your faces. Attracting members is a big thing on my heart. I've been membership chair quite a few times in different clubs. And we kind of started in the TRC club where I suggested that the past president kind of take on a little membership duties because they've been through the whole process and was responsible for so many things. So with that, our goals for this one is, we're going to define the attributes of a good Rotarian. So, think in your head what the good Rotarians that including yourselves, what kind of attributes they have, and exploring your clubs and how you can attract some good Rotarians. In your packet, there are quite a few good handouts which we'll also touch on. So let's start with where's the spot where in your community can you find some good Rotarians? Who wants to start off for me?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Anyone else?
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce, that's a good one. I've often said that I'm a municipal clerk by trade, and there are only 2 municipal clerks that I know of that are Rotarians, and part of our background in ethics is very similar to the 4-way test. Look at your city halls and your municipal clerks.
Renee, Kathy has her hand raised.
Yeah, thank you, Jess. So,
Kathy.
hey, one of the things I appreciate with Rotary, once upon a time, or even though I think they still look at classifications and, bankers and lawyers, and our lawyers always have big to-dos with each other, but I really appreciate that Rotary is looking for people in the community then who want to be involved. And so, hey, I'm thinking as a retiree, I've got time on my hands, and so I hopefully will be able to reach out to folks that are looking to make a difference.
Retirees, another good one, definitely. Anyone else?
Former interactors or rotaractors.
Yeah, Peg, definitely. You pull in those rotaractors once we put them in leadership roles, and it's so great to have Jessica and
Louisa.
Louisa.
Riley.
There's Louisa. There, I was looking through the attendees, so it's great to have you ladies here with us because you are our future, and I know they pushed on the new generations more and more every year. How about the makeup of your club? So does it reflect the community? Does it reflect by age and gender and race, religion? Peg brought up diversity. It's a big subject now, and it's very important to include everybody. What can your club do to think outside of the box as far as some of these, your community and people you haven't touched yet?
Would you ask that question again, please, Renee?
Yes. So in your club, what diversity are you missing by not going out and inviting members to come and be a part of Rotary? Age, gender, race, religion, classification. Anyone?
Classification is one that's, we used to focus on for the reason of exclusivity, but I think we're missing out by not focusing on classifications to make sure we bring a varied talent set to our clubs.
That's very true. And they used to focus on not having too many of a classification and we've gone and thought outside the box, and that's not a requirement any longer, which is a good thing as far as attracting members.
I think Rotary actors here have a very important role because we, as a university, we have the opportunity, to contact from different majors, from different areas of studies. So yeah, I think it's very important for us to have a variety of majors in our club. And I just wanted to share that our club is very diverse. We have people from engineering, from business, from different areas. So I think we're gonna put a little bit more effort into getting a diverse areas of study for creating new Rotarians.
That's a great place for us to focus. Thank you, Louisa. The pulling in the different majors is big as far as classifications and diversity and inclusion as well. One of
the things, Renee, that we're doing since last year, we're posting both in English and Spanish. In El Paso, there's a large binational or bilingual population. So all our posts in our Facebook page are bilingual. So that's something that we're trying to do also to be more inclusive. And that's, same message. I know I'm the public image, but the more we let people know what our clubs are doing, the more inspired they're going to feel to be able to join independently of where they are. So just a call of action for everybody to make sure that y'all let us know what you're doing.
Absolutely. And in your materials in the top here, I just kind of want to highlight, you can click on some of these that aren't already in your packet that we will go over. There's a couple of links that aren't good, so I will send to Kathy so we can distribute to those who are attending. A couple of these that I went in and found anyway, the link wasn't great. But on every section of your packet, these links should be active, and if they're not, you can utilize Jesse's wonderful input and search the site. So thank you for that, Jesse. So with that, I did want to touch on one of these. It's not letting me. There we go. There we go. So some of the things that are good to know for attracting members, how can you go in your clubs? How can you go out and what's a good rule of thumb to invite a member to lunch or to get them to Rotary? Anyone? How do you get? How about who has proposed a member?
I have. Bring in a great speaker and then get people that might be interested in that speaker and the topic, and you've got them.
Great idea. You can target a lot of people with a certain popular speaker in your community. Who else? Thank you, Jenny.
Renee?
Yes, Jeff.
I think depending upon what the potential member is interested in, I think it's great to invite them to service projects and other things that the club is doing. Not so much the meetings unless it's going to be really captivating. If they're interested in service, I'd rather them see service projects because that's really what's going to excite them.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And social events too.
And social events.
And social events. TRC Club has Tuesday meetings, so every 5th Tuesday is a social event, and that's where you're highly encouraged to bring someone with you to see how much fun we can have, where we're not in the midst of any major business, but we can still pull a new member in that way. What are other ideas that some people have?
Some of the people that I'm working on getting to join our club, Rotary Club of Albuquerque, one of them, her primary focus is on building her business. Unfortunately, she's a travel agent, so it's a little difficult right now. But I said, if I introduce you every week as Kathy Hash of Escape Travel, people are going to remember your name, and when things open up again, you'll be established as a member to patronize. Then another person really wants to get involved in the service projects, and we have several going right now, and so I keep sending her information to the people in charge of those projects, and she'll get to know people that way. Another person I just have started recruiting, and she's quite young, but she's interested in progressing in her professional career. And I said, you know, come on the Zoom meetings. At least you can get an idea of who we are and what we're about, and see how you can fit in. So it depends on the person, but you go where they are. And it's not always the speaker that draws them.
Sometimes, yeah, and sometimes what is it when it's not the speaker? What draws these members to our clubs?
Renee?
Yes, Jesse.
I see Jerry's muted, but I would invite Jerry to comment on what he saw. We just inducted Jerry 2 weeks ago into our club. How did you find out about it?
I was told by Sandy Boswell about it prior to it, because I belong to other clubs as well, but for COVID we quit many, so I needed somebody or something to get together with, because just you miss, you know, camaraderie or getting together with people as well.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've just brought in 3 new members. We've got others coming and visiting our Zoom meetings.
That's great.
That is good. I know we have had a little struggle with some people, and they're not technically savvy. So we had quite a few who offered to go around and walk them through it and help them out to get them on. But the speakers that have been coming in, we've got 2 new members from speakers, and, you know, think outside the box. So here's the good to know for attracting members. Some of the things that I picked out was selling. How many of you have heard of an elevator speech? And so there's a few. And so an elevator speech is, you know, you've got 2 minutes or 3 minutes to ride the elevator to the top floor, or maybe halfway, and somebody asks you about Rotary. What are you going to say? Your elevator speech sometimes will get you through. And there is actually a really good class that I sat in on one of the district assembly meetings, where they make you build your elevator speech. And I have yet to memorize mine, but it was something to the effect of what you need to do is bring in your club projects. We are a service club, and your enthusiasm will give everything. That has done the T-ball field for the kids in the community. We've revamped the patio for the seniors because they ran out of room to eat. And, you know, give them your excitement when you tell your elevator speech, and follow it up with, when can I take you to lunch? You know, you'll attract members real quick. Like, what are some things that your clubs might do to encourage members to bring a member? And I'm going to call out, because I was a member of the White Sands Club, there goes Peg. I'm going to call out Peg and say, what do your members get when they bring a visitor and they are in the end proposed and brought in as a member?
We get out a free card that we can use when there's a fine, that we can get out of the fine.
Get out of fine free. And they used to give, they would give credit for 2 meals if you paid for the visitors' meals. They still do that?
I don't think so, because I didn't know about that one. Man, I missed out on some food.
Right? They used to give credit for, you get 2 tickets, 2 meal tickets, and you get a credit on your bill for paying for those visitors' meals. What other clubs, what do you do to entice your members to bring proposed members?
Renee, so at the Camino Real, we had a point system. We're going back to it to encourage members, and bringing a guest is one of the highest point getters. And then at the end, they win a dinner with a group of people. So,
In a group of what people do they have dinner?
So it's club members. So basically, I think the top 5, how we did in the past, it was like the top 5 that had the most points. The ones that had the less points had to pay for dinner for the top 5.
Aha. Well, there you go.
It was one with the most points.
Point system, that's the way to go. And I know your club is very, very active. And a little competitive, I think, sometimes. They get a little competitive down there, but man,
sometimes.
Movers and shakers, I'll tell you what. All right. Who else? What do you do for your members?
Renee, our club in Silver City pays for the first 3 meals of any guest who is a potential member.
Okay, pays for 3 meals. Yes. So you don't have a member pay for their guest's meal.
No.
If you're saying this is a proposed member, you pay for 3. Wonderful. See, everybody's outside the box, and whatever works for your club is good. There's no right or wrong. It's just you've got to really think about what's going to work the best. So, we continue to promote new generations. It wouldn't hurt to hear from Jessica and Luisa on how members are proposed in your Rotaract clubs. Are they fairly similar?
So we have this times in which we can set up like our table and recruit students, where all the organization of the school, of the university, they expose themselves so that they can get more members. We also try to get new people by inviting them. We know that it's more, it's like stronger to have a good Rotaractor when it's the friend of a previous or an already Rotaractor. So we try to encourage people to bring their friends. I think we have to reinforce that, to motivate them to, if you bring someone new, then you're gonna have this. I think we should start doing that. We also, there was this time in which we went to the high schools to invite the interactors, so that once they go to UTEP, they can join our club. And I have to say, for this year, it's crazy how we thought about, because of the pandemic, we were not going to have a lot of people interested, and we're going to have a little bit more trouble recruiting people. But in fact, we've had like a lot of new members, and some of them come from previous interactor clubs, interact clubs. So that's awesome. I think that's the key.
It's great that when they come from an interact club, that they're looking out for Rotaract, and that's the best part about Rotary is, just keep growing and keep learning. And I've learned so much from so many of the interactors that were in Alamogordo, and just attending and watching them flourish is amazing. So we thank you guys. And again, it's great to have you as part of our group here. We're glad to have you.
Yes.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
I want to
go ahead.
add something.
Yes, go ahead.
Something that we do for Rotaract for attract new members. We recognize the member of the month. So the person or the member that has more points, we post on social media like Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. And so they can share in their stories, and also we get more involving about another students. So it's another thing that we do for recruiting and recognize the member that has more potential in that month.
Great. Thank you so much. So let's go on to leading your club membership committee. I know we had at least one who said that that they were the membership committee chair. Was that Meredith, possibly? In your packet.
No, I'm not the chair, Renee.
Oh, okay.
I'm the new member coordinator.
Coordinator.
We have a whole, yeah, we have a team, the entire membership division under the board director gets together every month. And this includes PR, and it includes guest greeters, and it includes everybody. And we collaborate together on how to bring in guests and bring in new members and other membership issues.
That's great. And how many members do you have in your club?
180. Well, wow. Actually, we're at 170 right now, but we're aiming to get back to 180, and we're 3 on the way. So this is good.
That's great. Well, yeah, you have a few to choose from. I was like, that's a great committee. Clubs I've been part of are so small that it's like, you know, you're lucky if you have 1 or 2 that'll sign up for membership. I know we have. How many of you have a club kind of like that?
Well, this is true.
So that's great that you have so many with so many roles to help you get there. So in your packet, you do have the leading your club membership committee, and it's got different responsibilities on how you can move your committee along, such as, we'll just touch on a few: attending your district training assemblies, working with your president-elects, selecting and preparing those committee members. As Jeff mentioned, the president-elects have a whole year to you know, really feel people out and put them on your different committees and such. And they can create subcommittees when you have 180 members. It's a little easier to do that. But regularly plan your activities and plan with your social activities. Do any of you have a regular membership drive that you hold? I'm trying to browse through here.
Renee?
Yes, I don't see hands.
I didn't give you a hand, sorry.
Go ahead, Madam Governor.
We in Silver City periodically hold what we call introduction to Rotary happy hours, where we invite our friends for wine and cheese. And it's really a meet Rotarians, meet the board, see some of our materials, see some of our videos, but mainly just hang with us. And then right in the middle of it, we'll have like 3 people speak for 2 minutes each about why they're in Rotary and what we do. And what we get from that is a pipeline of people who are at various stages of interest, and they can be contacted and cultivated and invited to other things. Works really well.
That's a great idea. And to hold different events for that, or, you know, just to include it in every service project, every social event that you might have.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can determine what else your club expects your committee to do. It doesn't have to be exact membership, but you will have some old timers, some long timers that are set in their ways on how it needs to be. So, so how many of you have those that are there for lunch and, you know, this is how Rotary needs to work? Those are the best ones to put on a committee when they're adamant that way, because they feel like they have their voice in there as well. So don't forget, don't put them aside. So let's move on to how much time do I have? I'm good. Proposing new members. So I want to open it up, and how do your clubs propose a member, and what are the rules you may follow? Is there something different from RI that you have in your bylaws, or confidentiality is a big part? So I'll open that up. How does your club propose members? Anyone?
Well, Renee, I want to throw something in here.
Sure.
This is not something every club does, but it is one way to go. One of the things that I've seen happen is that people will provide a list of people in the community they think would be great members. And they'll submit it to the board, and the board will approve them all at once, so that when they come to a meeting, when they express an interest, you don't have a long, cumbersome waiting period before they can be submitted to the group.
Ah.
And if you combine that with the requirement that they attend 2 or 3 meetings before they're proposed, you end up with wonderful people.
That's great input. Thank you. Anybody else? Do you handle things differently, or how does your club propose a new member?
Well, in Alamogordo, they come and visit. Then we give them the great Rotarian form that they're interested in filling out, and they have a sponsor. We announce their name at 2 meetings without them there. Then when they're approved by the board, we have an orientation meeting, and each board member goes through a little bit. And then at the meeting when they're inducted, they get their package, their red bag, and their first bill.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else? Does anybody do it a little different?
We also do that at the Rotary.
Go ahead, Matthew.
Can you all hear me? I'm having a problem with my speakers. Okay. At the El Paso Rotary Club, we do an orientation committee. And it's comprised of me and 2 other people, and we basically give them the layout of what they're going to be experiencing in Rotary, as well as the proper procedures for doing stuff, and also having us be like kind of a mentor for them to get going. So.
And who do you assign as a mentor to your new members? Is membership committee or proposer, or yeah, share with us who you assign as a mentor to a new member.
It's usually either the sponsor or the one of the members of the orientation committee.
Okay.
So it's pretty straightforward. They could come to one of us, and we kind of got them through the process.
Anybody else have anything different, or is it basically the same? Basically the same. I see a couple of heads shaking, yes. So proposing new members, this is also in your packet, and it's a wonderful tool to have. Share what Rotary means to you. There's your elevator speech. And emphasize the professional benefits with your colleagues and business connections throughout your professional day. You have business connections, maybe not as many nowadays as we're doing everything virtual, but you still do have. I mean, I have Zoom meetings all day long some days when we have our staff meetings, when we have our staff meetings even invite somebody new, kind of like a Rotary meeting. So you have those extra opportunities. Hey, we're doing it virtually, but why don't you join me? And there's still a way to propose new members. You wear your Rotary pin. That always initiates those conversations that are so very important. And so once you found a good candidate, you can follow your club's process and propose a new member. And a lot of times, some clubs are more on the confidential side, just in case there's a problem, especially smaller clubs. If there's people who grew up with somebody and don't want them to be a member, you will find out real quick, but those are the smaller club politics, basically, that you'll find. And it can be a challenge for membership chair, but if your heart's in it, you get those new members. Let's go on to
Renee?
Yes, Jeff.
So, I may throw a wrinkle in here.
Okay.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Wrinkle it up.
But it's been interesting debates that I've had with others on membership, both at the club and at district levels. And I appreciate that clubs set membership goals. I think that's very reasonable. But I've seen instances when the focus was on number and not on quality. And as we've talked about before, 50% of people who leave Rotary leave within the first 3 years, presumably because they discovered after they joined that it was not a good fit or there was some disconnect. And so for myself, and when I was membership chair, even though we had a number for a goal, we focused a lot more on alignment with the club and not so much on just numbers. So we always caveated it by saying, you know, before we just focus on, we're going to do a membership drive and we're going to try to get this number of new people, we tried to always start with what's the fit we're looking for, or what's the fit that they're looking for. And if it turns out that it was a smaller number than what we were hoping to accomplish, we were fine with that if they were engaged Rotarians. So it's just another side of this, which is there's the attracting people who ultimately are going to be a great fit, and attracting people who perhaps after they join will become a great fit.
Thank you, Jeff. And if I may add to that, Rotary International President Holger has specifically asked all of our clubs to invite members mindfully, to keep in mind that you are selecting your new lifelong friends, and to listen carefully for what people are looking for from their Rotary experience, and tell the truth about whether your club is the one that matches for them. And if it's not, find them another club. So not everybody belongs in every Rotary club. Thank you.
This is true. This is true. I've seen good members be pushed aside and go to another club and be welcomed and just flourish. Excellent Rotarians. So you never know where the fit might be. You just want to make sure you don't miss out on those. So with that, I'm going to go into how does your club welcome prospective members? Does your club give certain duties, or are there expectations during meetings? I'll open that one up and see what you guys do for that, for a new member that's been inducted. Anybody?
Well, I would comment, in the past, we used to have a whole orientation series where a new member would meet with different directors, board members, do a make-up meeting in another Rotary club, a whole list of things. We've kind of gotten away from that, but starting this year, we're going to get back to doing that. I think that was important to get people oriented. And it's about 10 to 15 things that they do.
Sure. Thank you, Jesse.
Renee Arturo has his hand raised.
Thank you,
Good,
Jeff.
thank you. I can't see that part. Arturo, go ahead.
So one of the things that we started last year, it was a little bit difficult to set up like regular training sessions. So basically what we started doing is like a half an hour on Monday, and we had different speakers that gave a 20-minute presentation and then 10 minutes for Q&A. So that way everybody, all the new club members and current members that, you know, hadn't gone to the training could benefit from hearing presentations about Rotary. So we started doing that since COVID happened, and every Monday we had a 30-minute session information, and then we'll go to the next speaker. And I understand that that's going to continue this year as well.
Great. Great idea. Anyone else?
Giving them an assignment right away. Maybe they choose what committee they'll serve on. Maybe they take on a post. Maybe they are assigned as greeters, which is a way to get to know everyone really fast. But make sure they have a role and they know they're making a difference now.
Absolutely. TRC Club you're automatically the person who sells tickets, and the 50-50 tickets for the drawing and everything else. And we had one member, boy, she was a go-getter, and she started the whole get your tickets. It's like, she's fun and she's going to get to know people real quick. So we, of course, grabbed her up and put her to work real quick. But assigning something like even Sergeant at Arms is not a bad spot to, after they have felt it out and see how it works. That's a good spot for a new member. Does anybody have the Red Badge program?
Yes, we do the Red Badge program. And one of the things they have to do to get their blue badge is they have to attend to the button box and greet everybody as they come in.
So they're made to do greeting and such. Thank you,
That's
Pat.
one of their requirements to get their blue badge.
That's good. See, so they're building up to that. Who's not familiar with the Red Badge, Blue Badge? I've got a couple here. Keep your hands up.
Sorry, what is that?
Yeah, the Red Badge, Blue Badge is where you give a new member, when they're inducted, they get a red badge. And if they, depending on what the club's rules are, I think White Sands Club, I don't know if they still do it, but you had to pay $1 to get your blue badge once it came in. I've heard some require members to do RLI first before they get a blue badge. I've heard, it's to where you build up and learn something about your club and keep you active in the very beginning before you get that. Blue badge is considered the permanent badge. So
we can give you lists of whether some of the clubs have required. I remember for me, it was be a greeter, attend a board meeting, name everybody at your table at least once. It's the kinds of things that would get you assimilated and a little familiar with the club and feeling like you belong before you're a blue.
definitely.
And they're not onerous.
Definitely. Anybody else have anything different you do with the badge program? All right, so I've got a couple of the membership development plan and introducing members. 414, and these are some that I will send out. I'll have Kathy send. I apologize for my dogs. I have nobody here to chase them down. Introducing new members to Rotary. Here's a whole orientation guide that you can get, and I will, like I said, send out. Just a little. All right, where you can develop a new member orientation program. If you're interested in different things to cover in it, it's included in this book. And how you decide to offer orientation reflects on your club's culture and how organized you are. Some have just fun activities to keep it fun. GRC Club was the Fun Club of the Year last year, and I didn't see an announcement this year. Who got Fun Club? Do we know?
I don't recall seeing that. Does anyone remember?
I don't know.
I don't think anybody. No.
I know now GRC and Camino Real have a really good a race going on, yeah, because they love to be the fun club, and they are the fun club. So we got lucky my year and took it over. We did have a lot of fun that year.
Many clubs. Many clubs.
Go ahead, Sunny. Go ahead, Sunny.
I just said many clubs are fun clubs.
Oh, definitely. And some just kind of, yeah, we're on a little race to do it. So we're happy to share with Camino Real. So assign a mentor, we talked about that. So it's in this booklet where you have so much great information involving and connecting members. How can we engage new members? So we just talked about that. They have introduced yourself to 2 new people each week. I know that in TRC, if you don't shake someone's hand, you will be paying a fine. TRC is big on our fines, and actually one year, the majority of our revenue, because we didn't have a fundraiser, was our fines in the beginning. And so I've been part of a clubs that you know, the members are like, really? Why are we always paying money? And I've been part of them that, why aren't we? So, you know, feel however your club works for your club. All right. So there's online courses on the Learning Center also that you can send your members to learn a little bit more. Or we use some of those in the Learning Center as a backup program if for some reason there wasn't a program. And so I was in charge of that, and you could bring one off of the website and you know, learn really well. Invite a friend to a meeting, explore your club website and Rotary website and the district website, and have some fun. So other ideas. And use your Rotary resources. So that's also in here. I love on these booklets some of the sayings that people say that Rotary completely changed me as a person. Now I'm more mature, responsible role to play as a global citizen. That's the hidden power of Rotary, exemplifying how Rotary can make a 360-degree impact on a new Rotarian. That needs to be incorporated into new member training. So pay attention to some of those as well once you go in and utilize the book. And this was an important one that I wanted to touch on, taking a fresh approach to creating the meaningful experience. And you have membership assessment tools. You have a Rotary Club health check and Be a Vibrant Club. I know Jeff had touched on that more for part 1, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Strengthening your membership, and you know, create a plan to give your club a boost. Connect to membership leads. Contact those interested candidates. Look at your municipal clerks. I just challenge you guys to do that, because we have a lot of the same values, and if for some reason your municipal clerk doesn't have a lot of the Rotary values, I would go so far as to say in my 20-year career they won't be there long. Connect for good. Inspire those members to explore those ways to get involved. It's your job to keep them involved. The next one is strengthening your membership, and how I got 2 minutes. Strengthening your membership, creating that plan, and they have great ideas for a membership plan in this guide as well. And so again, I'll be sending this out. Mentoring new clubs, engaging the members, attracting them, supporting the resources your clubs have. And there's a actual worksheet that you can use in this appendix. So here's the little worksheet, and it's a great thing to do for you to evaluate your own club and what can get you there. Next, we have the membership assessment tools, and these are also great to where you can. I started this in TRC, and then we went to COVID and hadn't been able to. But representing the professions, you can evaluate that data that you take, occupational, professional expertise. So, and you go on from there. And so this is another great tool that I also will send out. So with that, I will, let's see, I've got until 10:35, 1 more minute. Are there any questions about membership?
We have a hand raised from Jerry.
Yeah, another thing that attracted me to the Rotary is it's a service club. It's not well, this is what I do, send me referrals, send me business. It's not that type of club. So I like to be with a service club versus a networking club, in other words.
So it's networking and a service club, absolutely. And we pride ourselves on that too. I think there's a few that I've heard call themselves a money club, and money clubs are great too if you have a lot of members, but that's where you look at your diversity and your membership, and you've got to have the people willing to do some work as well. Anyone else? More questions? Okay. If not, then sure, Sunny, go ahead.
I know we don't have time for this, so I'll be very succinct. Just want to invite us to stand way back for a moment and look at Rotary in all of its history. That we've been Rotarians for 115 years, and that we are in a new world now. We're in a world not only because it's been 115 years, but also because we're doing things differently than we ever have. So watch the Anytown video and think about what's needed now in the world. Not everyone who would be a great Rotarian is going to have his or her needs met by the traditional club model. You know, sometimes people just want the fellowship and the service. But that's up to us to figure out. Be sure that you incorporate all the opportunities for relevance, for inspiration, for belonging and pride, and for allowing everyone to experience that they make a difference. I'll stop there. There's more to say, but I'll stop there.
Wonderful, thank you.
Sunny, may I mention something on that?
Yeah.
You know, in our club, we always had like a little bit of a challenge because some people said, you know, there are some people that only want to be in the social events. There's some people that only want to be in the service events, but they're not participating in everything. So once we had that Anytown video, I said, you know what? Rotary is now flexible that if they want to participate in the social events, fine. If they want to participate in the service, fine. We're welcoming everybody. So this is not an issue anymore. So
Right. We've never had so much permission to be flexible. We can look anything like what our members need.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, Arturo. What I see is really great about that is I've been in clubs where you have the same 10 people who do everything and get tired of it, or you don't want them to get burnt out because they're excellent Rotarians. So to have people that are interested in different aspects would be a great benefit, I would think.
Definitely. Oh, one last thing. I assert that we can all take our commitment to diversity to a new level. That we are still, to a great extent, in our comfort zone in terms of inviting to Rotary the people who are most like us. So keep in mind that there's almost no one out there who doesn't want the world to be a better place and who doesn't want to be a part of that. And look for ways to involve them and invite them and make us more accessible.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And that's the end of mine. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to participate today.
Thank you, Renee.
Thanks, Renee. Well, great conversations. Renee. Yeah, we could do the hand raising there. So awesome. Great conversation. I now have the opportunity to go on to the next page in your participants guide, the club communication. And so I'm going to start off by saying, bonjour mes amis, comment ça va? Bienvenue dans une classe Rotary. Bonjour, ça va? Bienvenue. And so if you did not, some of you might speak French. I knew I better not try Spanish, but what in the world did I just say, right? Anybody have any ideas? What did I just say?
How are you?
Hello.
Yes.
Welcome.
Good morning. Welcome. That's exactly what I said. And yes. And so let's see, I'm going to go ahead and go on to, let's see, I need to do a share screen. So let me do that. And Jeff, I think what I'm going to do then is take a look at, I get the right one here then.
Yep.
With our club communication. Hey, and you know what? I see some of you up stretching and walking around, and feel free to do that. It's been a long morning now, and so feel free to stretch and get up if whatever you might need to do. But what really interested me then is the effective communication, because we're communicating all the time, whether we want to or not, verbally, non-verbally. And I think that each of us might agree then that as Rotarians, we're delivering a message, whether we're the president, a board member, even a new Rotarian, that we are delivering a message then to folks around us, whether we're in the club or outside the club. And so I'd like to take a look at this particular note here with club communication. And so can you all see my interesting guys here then? They're looking at each other. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jeff. So what are some ways then, as far as looking at channels of communication? What are some channels of communication? How do we communicate internally with our club communication? So just throw some ideas out. If you want to unmute yourselves, feel free to do that. And I'm going to try and take some notes and talk at the same time, which thankfully I'm not chewing my gum anymore. So internal club communications, what do we do?
Website, social media.
Social media, okay. Maybe Facebook? Okay. What else?
We use WhatsApp. We have all the members on the WhatsApp app.
Okay. All right. I'm not familiar with that, so I'm going to have to check that out then. Thanks, Arturo. What else?
Club newsletter.
All right. Okay. And you know what? I was going to make a club newsletter.
Stephanie just started that this year with Alamogordo.
What's that, then, Pat?
Stephanie just started the newsletter this year with the Alamogordo Club.
I really have appreciated that then too. So I feel like I'm not quite so disengaged then. All right. What else have we got here then?
So, Kathy, we have a weekly e-newsletter that goes out.
Okay. All right. I'm going to put that up here then with a weekly e-news.
Face-to-face communication at meetings or via Zoom.
Yep. Thank you, Peg. Let's pretend maybe we were back in, back in our meetings then. Do any of you guys have like a hard copy of a bulletin or anything like that that you might put out at your tables?
We do announcements at the beginning of the meeting.
Okay, so those are verbal then, Dan, not just...
Right. And they've already received it in the club bulletin. But
okay.
Clovis is a weekly bulletin that we put together that's got articles from Rotary International and club news as well.
Okay, and Matthew, I think that was you?
No, Eric.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Eric. Okay, great. So how about email? Do you guys send emails to each other then as far as keeping in touch with different things then? And that can go back up with possibly social media. Do we make phone calls anymore, or do we just assume that it's going to, I'll tell you, Sunny is really good about giving me a phone call. She says, Kathy, what the heck are you talking about here? Let's have a conversation about this then. And so I appreciate that.
I like phone calls.
Yes, you do.
Kathy?
Yes, sir.
I have seen more clubs using group chat, which I think is great, especially for younger members, because they don't answer the phone or respond to email as often. Seriously, I mean, but group chat, boy, they're all over that.
All right, I'm gonna have to check that out then too, because I'm not familiar with that then either. So I'm showing my age here, you guys. That's pretty scary then. Louisa, I'm sorry, Sunny?
Text is separate?
You know what, let's, yep, absolutely. You know what? Tell you what, I'm gonna put it with phone because, we're using our phone to text, but yeah, absolutely, that's another.
Well, that's what I meant, and I apologize, because the group chat is basically just texting to a group.
Oh, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Smartphone is, so I apologize. It's
Isn't that what WhatsApp is also?
It's an additional, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I have done that, so good. Thank you, Jeff. I don't feel
Kathy,
quite sold. Yes, Arturo.
So the other day I was attended a club meeting, and one of the club members was highlighting how important the phone calls were for some of those members that that don't have family, that are currently on their own. So if you're a club president-elect, please reach out to your club members. They're eager to hear from you. So just a checkup call makes a whole lot difference. So just want to check that because it really touched me when she highlighted how important phone calls were at this time. So yeah,
sometimes I think I've forgotten what it's like just to just to make that one-on-one connection. So thank you, Arturo. That is so important. Cards and letters, especially if you know someone who's sick or been, might even be isolated in some way. Well, we're all isolated, but even more so for whatever reason. So thanks, Arturo. Hey, let's go ahead and take a look at external communications then. What kinds of ways do we connect with each other to our external audience? Then we were looking at internal club communications. Now let's take a look at external ways that we communicate with others. How about the district newsletter? I'll just throw that out there, okay? We have a fabulous district newsletter. Ed Hughes did a really great job. I enjoyed his, but Don took ours to a new level then. You've got to allow yourself about a full week to get through all the information.
Yes.
But I tell you, I am so excited when I see just the different things that our Rotarians are doing in the district. I am always astounded, always astounded. So what else?
So we do social media. That's a big one. And then the other thing that we do for our fundraising events is a letter before asking for support and a letter after thanking them for their support, and kind of like with a report of the results of what happened in the project.
Oh boy, that is so important in Arturo then, especially the letter after. I was able to send someone a thank you note for awarding one of our high school students a scholarship. And I got a response back from her that says, Kathy, no one ever sends us thank you notes. And so how important that is. Well said. And Arturo, if I could just say, you are doing a phenomenal job with Facebook. It's got to be a full-time job right there, keeping up with all of that.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. It's an honor. I'm excited.
Thank you, Arturo.
So one of the things Jeff mentioned is that we will be able to see this training on YouTube after we get done with that. About radio, television, newspaper, are those things of the past, or can we still rely on those? I got to tell you, the folks that put together the Las Cruces, Deming, Alamogordo, and El Paso papers, I think, is the same publisher, and maybe even wider than that. And so it's not unusual for us to get Las Cruces, El Paso news, and not usually our own news. And so it's newspapers are almost a thing of the past. And I put newsletter. Let me
Kathy, the
that.
other day, Sunny and I attended a training regarding the public service announcements. They're on radio. So Rotary is kind of like doing all this new radio campaign, and there's links to it on the Brand Center. Yes. They have examples and things. So if you want to reach out to your local radio stations, they already have all the material that you can provide them. So
right.
I thought that was interesting.
I'm sorry, Arturo. And those are free, right? If there's a public service announcement, and especially I think if it's a nonprofit organization, those are free. In fact, radio stations are required by the FTC FCC. Thank you. All right, I don't want to get us in trouble with the trade people, but yeah, FCC then to promote those. Then good point, Arturo. Anything else that you might add then to?
Well, for sake of being complete, we could put billboards on here.
Oh, thank you. I was actually going to go with signage.
Yeah, signage.
So one of the things in the most recent newsletter was Roswell Rotary Clubs has put up new signs around entryways into Roswell, and I'm looking forward to seeing those. All of us have seen, the Rotary symbols, on when they list all the city's clubs, and we've probably all seen those, and even in foreign places. But we also at one time had some real big billboards from Rotary, and I don't know who paid for those to be up, but that just was really cool. Sunny, do you have any idea about large billboards and signage as far as Rotary doing anything like that?
I know that Rotary does make available the templates for billboards. It's up to the clubs or the district to find places that will make those billboards available, and often there's money involved. We don't have a big budget for that, but it's still a possibility. And it does get some exposure.
Yes, thank you, thank you. All right, so we see then that with our channels for communication, that is just so important. I'm going to go down here to a quote then. But we know that organization cannot if you can't effectively communicate, then whether it's a family, whether it's a club, whether it's your business, your work, things are just not going to work. And so those three elements of effective communication include the communication channel, which is what we just talked about, our communication style, we're going to talk about that in just a minute, and then crafting your message. So, and I'm going to send you guys notes then that we can take a look at here. If you would, if you could, we're going to go to a breakout session here. And if you would, if you have your books available, or if you are, I can also show this then, but if you would go to your club communications or your CC-3, and I think that's on page 27, I think. But we're going to do some breakout rooms here real quickly. And I'm going to go to, let's see here, I'm going to do this. Got some great resources here that I know you guys will go back and take a look at. So CC3 then, yes, on page 27. And so I'm going to assign, we're going to have 3 groups. Is that correct, Jeff? We're going to go with 3 groups? Okay.
Yeah.
And so group 1, I'm going to take group 1. I asked 3 people to help me, and I've already forgotten who they are then. But let's see, Renee, I think you're 1, Sunny, you're 1, and let's take the 3 groups.
So let me know, Kathy,
Yes,
because I have to move people.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and do that. But if while Jeff is moving us around, and hopefully you won't get dizzy or disoriented, or we're not going to lose anyone in cyberspace here, but we're going to go ahead and divide up into 3 groups, and we're going to be looking at this page 27. If you would take a look at that, and I'm going to be a facilitator. Sunny's going to be a facilitator, and forgot
Jenny?
Renee.
Jenny?
Oh, Jenny, that's right. Oh, that
Jenny,
Jenny's.
that's what I thought. I was like, I'm not sure about me.
Okay, Jenny. All right. So
okay, so give me 1 second. So what
All
I've
right.
got now is I've got you, Kathy, in breakout room 1.
Okay.
Sunny is in breakout room 2.
Okay.
And Jenny is in breakout room 3. And so when Kathy says we're going to break, I'm going to hit a button. You're going to break into these rooms. The facilitators are going to do what they're going to do. And then Kathy is either going to signal me, or you just let me know now when, how many minutes, and then we will reconvene as a full group. So do you want to give me a time, Kathy, or?
Yes, sir. 10 minutes. Okay.
10 minutes.
So,
you got it. So,
right.
so we would say 11:03. All right. We ready?
All right. Thank you, Jeff.
Here we go.
See you.
There we go.
Where are you from? John?
Hello? You talking to me?
Yes.
Sunny?
Yes.
Okay. I'm from Albuquerque, Rio Grande.
Wonderful. Nice to see you. So
Well, thank you.
has everyone had a chance to read the case study? At least to get a sense of it? No.
Right?
Would someone be willing to synopsize our issues before we start the discussion?
It's in Kansas City. Adult literacy is an issue, and
Hey, Jeff, can you help us out? Glad to see you're in our room. Group 3 doesn't have an actual duty on her sheet that she posted. Do you have any idea what we're supposed to be doing?
Aren't the 3 groups are not doing the same thing?
Wrap up. Which one are we on?
The notes I got from Kathy, I didn't see that each group was doing something different.
Oh, okay. So where's the document from what we are doing?
It's on page 27.
Here we are. Okay.
So you should be able to share a screen still. Renee or Jenny
okay.
is facilitating this.
Jeff, I'm supposed to be observing. So when I am a facilitator, I'll know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay, well, I'm glad Renee is in the group then.
I jumped in now.
Go, Renee, go.
Okay, let me pull up here and I'm going to open and share my screen. There we go. Now I can share my screen. Let's have it. All right, can we see it? All right, here we are. So we have the internal written communication case study. I'll give you guys a minute to read that. Can everybody see it just fine?
Yes. Yes.
We talk about contacting the schools. In fact, our superintendent was our speaker on Friday at our Rotary Club. And he said that they've pretty much stopped out any outside activities right now because of the situation we're in.
Right.
And the only external exposure they're getting is the teammates program. And so, you really are kind of stuck with this. But I think that you almost have to start with, you said the corporate community. So we have a lot of those people that are members of our club. And so we might want to talk with them about, how do they think we can start this project? Because they're the ones that we're going to ask, and they're going to have people that they work with on a regular basis, maybe go to the Chamber of Commerce or whatever and expand it a little bit. But it's going to be a tough one right now, for sure.
Right, okay.
And you might do something, I think this sounds like a competition between corporate entities, maybe.
Yeah.
So if you had 2 competitors who had high profile people, their CEOs or whoever's high profile in the community would compete against each other in this spelling bee. And you could have, more than just 2, but we've done something like that. United Way did it here. They took the top 2 CEOs, one from Western Refining and one from the electric company, and they challenged each other to a sumo wrestling match. And so they both have large employee bases, so that engaged the employee bases behind their, leader.
I love that.
So you could take that as an example and perhaps turn it into a spelling bee, and you bring it into the world that we're living in now, and you do it on Zoom.
Absolutely. So taking that idea, I love that. I can't, I'm trying to visualize sumo wrestlers here with, between Western Refinery and the electric company. Then that's just wild. But what would our
costumes that you wear? You put on a complete costume.
I've seen
and
one
they
of those.
actually wrestled.
So what will we need our club members to do then with something like that? Would we get our club members out there to I mean, we would need to be, the point is to be raising funds, right? And so how would we get our club members out there to raise funds? Do you contact everyone you know? What do we need our club members to do? How could we use our club website and Facebook? I apologize, Eric, go ahead.
Well, so in my case, I'm actually a graphic designer and a web designer by trade. So what
Oh.
we would do in our club would be to start a website specifically for the event where people could donate money. That way, they could share it around. So it doesn't even have to be hyper local. It can be regional or international at any point. And we would probably use social media and the website to really do the bulk of the work for us.
Absolutely, especially considering our situation right now with the virus and where we're not able to really interact with each other. That's excellent. And if Arturo was here with us, he would also be saying the same thing on Facebook. So we want to get as much publicity out there as possible then. What information do we need to provide then? So Anne, how did those guys, we need to come up with a date, time? What all do we need to do?
It's the basic who, what, when, and where.
All right.
And what for.
Yeah.
Being the big emphasis on it is the what for. But in this case, because you're doing something really unique and involving leadership from the community, you would want to emphasize setting up some kind of competitive dialogue between the participants that would allow, some energy to be developed around their involvement in this and what it was about, and the rah 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 kind of stuff that would enthuse people to really look forward to having this happen and want to participate through giving for the fundraising part and for the support of the event itself.
That's so true. And I love the rah, rah, rah. And so, Tim, thank you. So we've got, I think we've got maybe half a second here. We've gone to 11:03. Who in the club needs to get this done?
All the club members need to
all the club members
work their contacts. I mean,
right.
Each one of us has different contacts.
Right. And I'm going to hire Tim, okay?
You're trying to get sponsors, so you need to take all those avenues.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right. So guys, well, sorry, Tim.
I was just going to say, everybody needs to be given an assignment.
Right.
We're a small club, so we've got an advantage there. But in a larger club, even there, I mean, you group people together and give them an assignment that they need to accomplish out in the community.
Yeah. So someone needs to be in charge, right? But,
well, there's that too.
Yeah, but you need all your team members in there to do the rah, rah, rah. And Eric, I'm going to hire you then to do my graphics then. And Anne, you're going to be my cheerleader. And Nikki, thank you. Thank you very much for those ideas. So Jeff, I think we're ready to go back and join the group. Sorry to rush us through, but I love the sumo wrestling. I'm going to go do that. Yeah. Thank you. All right. We'll need to leave the breakout.
It gave us.
Jeff, I'd like to get off of this page, I think, and I don't remember how to remove myself from this.
From what?
So just to get off the CC3 and go back to a full screen.
I think just top right.
Okay. All right.
Hello again. Hello.
All right. Hello, everybody. Hey.
Hi.
So I need to ask, because I'm
Yes.
recording the session and I wasn't jumping around as much as I usually would. Did you all get the 2 messages that I sent out
Yes.
about time? Okay.
Yes, we did. Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. That was helpful then. All right. So Meredith, we were kind of all over the place, but are you able to give us a rundown
Sure.
about one? Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Our assignment was to find out what the members should do. And basically, we identified it at the end. Each person needs to contact the contacts they know. We're trying to get the big companies, corporations, and organizations in the area and engage their top dogs, high-profile people, to not just participate, but compete against one another and promote that to the community, to engage part of it, and to excite the employee base as well. need to use the website and social media, not just for publicity, but to enable donations to be made online to this project. So somebody needs to identify who, what, when, where, and perhaps most importantly, why we're doing this project, why we're raising money. And get the community excited. As somebody said, rah, rah, rah. So what do we need to do this? Well, we need a chair and we need sub-chairs, person in charge of various subcommittees. I think that's everything we said. What do you think, Kathy?
I think you did a great job, Meredith. Thank you. And so for other folks here then, you want Tim Sexton with Los Lunas then to do your rah, rah, rah. And Eric in Clovis then to do your graphic designs then. So yeah, there's a little bit of promotion there for our some of our excellent Rotarians.
You need somebody to count the money too.
I think Ann can do that then. Awesome. Hey, so Ann talked about a thing in El Paso. Yes, Sunny.
Just wanted to mention Tim Sexton is in Raton.
Oh, Raton. Oh,
yes.
How did I get that so wrong? Okay, Raton. Thank you. Thank you very much then. All right. That's okay. That helps a lot then. Welcome, Raton. I don't know. I think I have the wrong club down for you then, Tim. El Paso did sumo wrestling between the refinery folks and the electric folks. And so that had to be a hoot. Hey, group 2, let's go ahead and talk with you guys.
That would be Arturo. He was our scribe.
Thank you.
Thank you. So what do you need the club members to do? First thing, it was to figure out the logistics of the event, where to have it, and key will be the advertising. The attendance aspect is there's another part where you get the teams involved. And one of the things that Jesse mentioned is that during the COVID times, this is going to have to be a virtual event. So we're going to have to, this is going to give us an opportunity to be a larger event, make sure that everybody participates, and we're going to have people communicate to the school district, to the school advisors, to the PTAs, to make sure that everybody is aware. We're going to need a good MC and a very good IT people that can help us. And of course, a treasurer for managing the money. How we're going to use the club website and Facebook. We'll also talk about different venues, TV, radio, newspaper ads, having an article published about the event, district newsletter, school newsletters, and university communications also. And this will be a great way to engage student organizations to be part of this event and have volunteer hours for them. We're going to use LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. I forgot the name of the other one. The one that disappears. What is it called, Lisa?
Snapchat. Instagram.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
Snapchat. There we go.
Once you said it disappears, I was like, yeah.
And Meredith already talked about the info needed to be provided, when, why, how much, how to sign up, contact informations. One of the things that Jesse highlighted is the avenues to people can contribute, to make sure that we have that call for action and make sure that the outlets of how they can contribute are available. Provide online sponsorships and public relations, and have somebody to be able to be a team sponsor. And that's where we kind of left off.
All right, thanks. That was a great report, Arturo. Thank you. You get an A+. All right, Rotaractors, you think so?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yay. All right. Okay, group 3, Jenny, thank you. Who is your facilitator or scriber?
I think we were all working on it together.
We really did. I jumped in as facilitating, and so go ahead, Jenny.
Well, we figured we'd have a contest between maybe the police department, the fire department, and bring in tutors and mentors for people that need help with reading, and have prizes and companies to donate the prizes, or sponsor certain event, this event, sign up with Facebook, social medias. And the people that involved would be your service publicity chair, president, the public image, and have someone to be in charge of the money, because we just know we're going to make a ton of it. And because bringing in high visibility people, public people, to go against each other, that's always fun.
It is, yeah. Awesome. I could just imagine the president of UTEP and the president of NMSU just going at it here then. So, yeah. I might cause a civil war here, though. We wouldn't want that to happen. So, so this really, in my opinion, is more of a kind of a service project, investigate, conversation than really communication conversation. But I think we all will understand, though, or agree then, that the way we communicate within our clubs, internally as well as externally with our public, is so important that we get that message across, that we get people on board. And we talked about some of those issues earlier, that as far as communication and getting folks on board with this consensus, we talked about that with Jeff's session earlier. So what are some of the problems that might exist for effective communication within a club? I mean, we're going to have problems, and I think probably each of us has a story. Anybody want to share an issue that maybe they've had, a problem that maybe they've had with
I'll start, Kathy.
Okay.
I think one of the problems in this day and age is if you communicate via a single means, whether it's email or newsletters or chat, any online mean, you have a group of your membership who don't do it. For example, there are people that aren't going to be on Twitter. They're not going to be on LinkedIn. More likely to be on Facebook. But I think we probably have a whole group of people that don't do any of the social media.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out how to reach everybody in your club, which may mean that you have to use multiple pipelines to get to all of them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Bob. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. What else? Who else? What other problems might we encounter?
Well, I think one of the problems we'd have is putting it all out there and getting it out there. And this is what we're going to do. And we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to make a lot of money for this organization. And we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And then everybody signs up and there's nobody there to answer the people.
Yeah.
Somebody drops the ball.
Somebody drops the ball. Yeah. So we talked about, Bob, you mentioned this then, that folks that may not have various skills, whether they may not be comfortable with a computer, group chat. What are you talking about? TikTok, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, China's taking over the world with TikTok. And so I'm not going to do that. We also have physical limitations then. I usually wear hearing aids, and I'm also part of a group then that's been doing Zoom meetings. And we have one fellow who's extremely hard of hearing, and he might have his, volume all the way up, but cannot hear what we're saying in the Zoom meetings. And so he participates every time we meet, but that's got to be a frustration to him. How about, have you ever missed inadvertently left someone out, or maybe you included okay, Peg, you're shaking your head then. So you got an experience to share there? Yeah,
No,
Dawn, you too.
Just that I have, you get to a meeting and you're like, where's so-and-so? And it's like, oops, they weren't on the email list or
Right.
whatever. They didn't get the invitation.
Right.
Yeah, Kathy?
Yes, ma'am.
George Bernard Shaw once said the biggest challenge with communication is the illusion that it has occurred. The fact that you sent an email or even left a voicemail or sent a text does not mean that it landed or that it landed the way you intended it to. So being mindful about that is also important.
That's
And actually, another experience just the other day, our new president sent out 2 email messages about we were going to meet last Thursday, and they both went in my spam. And so
yeah.
I didn't even see them because I didn't think to check my spam. And like an hour before, somebody texted me and said, "Oh, is there a meeting today?" And I'm like, "Oh, no."
Yeah.
And yet somehow we all know that our car warranty is about to expire.
You get those calls too?
Oh my God.
That's
I'm not
called
the only
persistence.
It's
We need to
persistence.
contact them to be our communication specialist.
Yeah. So I'm not the only one that gets those calls, huh?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. They're
I
relentless.
remember at my kids' schools, we used to get like an automated phone message. Just like you can schedule an email to go out, you can schedule a phone call to go out to all your membership. I never thought of that. Should we do that?
Oh, interesting.
Maybe so.
So one of the things that WhatsApp allows you to see is who has read the message.
Oh.
So you can check. So we use it for our board of directors. So that way I knew who had seen it, who hadn't seen it, and then I will reach out and say, hey, we need your vote. Can you please check the chat and let us know?
Great.
That's good to know that.
What we do as Rotaractors, our main way of communication is WhatsApp. And I try to encourage my my members to reply, because I think that's part of the communication, right? It's not only sending the message, but like receiving something, anything like an okay, I received your message or anything. So we implement this. I send a message and then I ask, okay, send me an emoji, send me a happy face or something saying that you read the message and that you're aware of this activity. So that's like a way to keep them, you know, like active in a way, because it's really hard, especially now that we don't see each other face to face. So I think like a good recommendation is to encourage people to give you any type of communication back of that message that you gave.
Thank you, Lucy, for sharing that then. Absolutely. So folks, I've not done a real good job of managing my time here. One of the other, imagine that. But I'm going to send you my notes, but along with the guide here, then there's information then on 10 tips for public speaking. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Rotary Toastmasters coalition or partnership then, and Sunny's talked about how she's become a member of Toastmasters, which is so cool. Anyone else out there a member of Toastmasters? Nope, but it sounds... Want to be, okay. So we have a District 5520 Toastmaster Rotary Partnership Facebook page, and so I'll include that link with you. And probably I don't think, how many of you are comfortable with standing up in front of folks and talking? Anybody?
I'd rather go to the dentist.
Thank you.
That's terrible.
That's a good one.
Let me,
Kathy, I'm not sure
Yes.
what the difference is, but they're making a point of it not being a partnership, but an alliance.
An
So I'm
alliance.
not quite sure why that's different. I know that we are encouraged to be in touch with one another and participate in each other's activities.
Okay.
So check it
Huh.
out. Call me if you have questions.
All right. So Sunny's a great, and alliance just seems to me to be kind of a stronger connection than a partnership. Alliance means arms are locked together. Can you guys see my comfort level with public speaking slide here?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. All right. So going to the dentist, my comfort level with public speaking first was going to be I'd rather eat tumbleweeds. I will if I have to. Number 3, sure, I'll be okay with that. And then number 4 is piece of cake anytime. I changed majors in college so that I wouldn't have to take public speaking. And so just, you know, God has a sense of humor here then. But
Yes.
I will send you that information. Please look through the rest of your resources then in the participants guide. And you know, I've given you my email address, my cell phone number, and if you have any questions or anything, let me know. But again, we're so glad that you're here. The participants guides that you have are such a wealth of information. Some of it's outdated, some of the links don't work, but please make use of that information then. So thank you for your participation today. I appreciate you. Thanks. Oh, so wait a second. Wait. Okay. Oh, thank you, Sunny.